and you were like, bro, Blonde is the weakest Frank Ocean album of
Easily.
all time.
Easily the weakest Frank Ocean album of all time.
Fake news. Fake news. Because when I would listen to it, you were like, man, I listened to it one time, hated it. I couldn't stand this album. I thought it was the worst album of all time. And I was like, bro, did you actually listen to it, or did you just play it once and said it's not Channel Orange? You were like, it's not Channel Orange. I'm like, no, it's not Channel Orange. It's a whole different vibe. Like Channel Orange put Frank on the map, right?
Yeah, no,
Channel,
I agree with you, bro. Yeah.
Channel Orange was fantastic, but like Blonde is a different project. Blonde, it's like a slow burn. Like you listen to it 2 times, you actually listen to the lyrics, you read the lyrics, and you listen to the lyrics. You're like, oh man, this put me in my feels. This is like one of those albums that makes you want to text your ex girlfriend. It's like one of those albums
my
that
God.
make you want to like tell your wife, hey, we need to talk. We need to talk tonight. It's one of those albums that make you reconsider what love is. Like it's a deep album. Like remember when back in college, I think when Drake came out with if you're listening now it's too late or something. If you're reading this it's too late.
Yeah,
This is like when everyone started saying you're Frank Oceaning now because Blonde made you start Frank Oceaning. You didn't Drake anymore. You just Frank Ocean because you're just all in your feels about a relationship that you're not even in.
Look, man, it made me feel some feelings. I redact my statement, and it got me caught up. Anyway, welcome to the Unsolicited Counseling Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Jermaine.
This your boy, One Bevy Martin.
One Bevy Martin.
Two Bevy.
Well, it started with two Bevy, and then it became one Bevy real quick because today in the past week, we're celebrating one of the goats. We talk about a lot about like what masculinity is. This is actually part two. If y'all ain't know. If y'all ain't read the headline, we talked about part two. But to respect our fathers, the people that brought us into this world, we did a toast to Martin's dad, Kenny, with the Lime-A-Rita.
Yes, my dad. And one of the stories I'll tell you guys, when I first moved out of my house, I moved into my first apartment in Tyson's Corner.
Still bitter.
And what did you say?
I'm still bitter, by the way.
Well, Jermaine's supposed to be my roommate, and he was boo love, and he was like, bro, let's consider something else.
All right, listen.
I ain't got time. Listen, no, we're not going to talk about that right now.
First of all,
we honor my dad, then we can talk about it.
All right.
We honor my dad. So my dad was helping put furniture together. Me and Jermaine were chilling in the apartment. Basically, everything else was done. He was putting together the seats to the dining room table that I never used. All we could hear while we're chilling on the couch is my dad splitting wood. He was splitting the wood of the chairs. And we was just like, yo, Dad. I was like, yo, Dad, we about to go to 7-Eleven and get some beer. You want anything? He was like, yeah, son, give me a Lime-A-Rita. So, in honor of my late father, we drank a Lime-A-Rita prior to this episode. And, we're going to get weird in this episode. We're talking about toxic masculinity. But before we get into the topic and before we do all that, how you doing, bro?
You know what, bro? Great segue. And, like, again, thank you, Mr. Wiley, for, helping bring this fine gentleman into my life.
I also forgot his birthday just passed. June 4th was his birthday, so we honor him by drinking a Lime-A-Rita every year. So.
Every year. Yep, every year. You probably should do it when he split the wood, too, bro.
Probably. I was like, that chair's breaking and Angie's going to fall in a couple years.
Bro, I was like, what do you do? I was like, yo, do you see the fact that the whole screw is on the other side of the leg? Like, I let him do it, bro. I was like, you know what? He my senior, bro. That's on him. But no, bro, like, I'm good. I'm actually doing really good. We went to reunion this past weekend. Shit got crazy. We might do a reunion episode or a recap for you guys. Shit was a little wild. But other than that, like I gained a lot from that. Like I had a lot of closure. I think we had a reunion episode a couple of weeks ago where I said I was very like nervous to go back. I didn't know like how I would feel when I go back, if I would fall back in similar patterns or if I wouldn't grow. I was scared to see where I was then to where I am now. And honestly, it was a great way to like close chapters in my life, like bookends and everything, bro. And again, having great times with friends. rekindling a lot of friendships and stuff like that, but really just bonding with like my brothers that like uh, this savvy, whatever. We might do a college podcast or like we're places that we feel like we're strong, have strong ties with. We'll probably do that in the future. Let us know if you want to hear it. But being in that moment and being with you guys was like nothing else, man. Like it was so helpful to like see like I chose these people. These are my friends, my brothers for life, and bro, set me on like a great week. Granted, my first run after reunion, ass, a complete
Bro,
ass.
it looked good.
It looked good. My liver won't feel good.
Oh God.
Bro, I couldn't sweat. Like I was dehydrated. I was like, you know what? I'm on a 5 mile run. Mind you,
That was a mistake. You went for 5 miles.
yeah, I was like, I'm going hard. Look, all right. So if y'all want, y'all know, we went to a reunion. We had our little David Goggins on, right? We were like, hey yo, it ain't nothing, bro. Stay hard, right? So I brought that same that's the same mentality back home. I probably should have did 3 miles. I was like, yo, I should do 3 miles, like a 5K. Fine. I was like, nah, bro, I'm trying to burn off this alcohol. It's like a horrible mistake. But that being said, like the time there, like helped me understand myself, helped me understand like where I am and appreciate where I am a lot more, and also appreciate the relationships I have more. So bro, it was life changing. So that said, it was great. Life changing.
That is a powerful
It
statement.
was life changing. It made me feel like I didn't regress. You remember I talked to you before about
Bro. Save for the pod.
I'm gonna save
do
for
an
the
episode
pod.
on it next week.
We'll do an episode next week, but stay tuned. But yeah, that's how I feel. I'm good. Work's good. Traffic sucks. Fucking forest burning in Quebec, bringing it down here. Other than that, I'm
Thanks,
good.
Canada.
Thanks, Canada.
Thanks, Canada.
Y'all had one job, bro.
My wife is here. She's Canadian, so I got.
Y'all had one. Look, but they had one job on the East
Just
Coast.
don't
How
let
did
it
this
burn.
happen?
Just don't let it burn.
How do you let it burn, bro? Like, how did it happen?
Bro, shout out to Usher though, because he had that song "Let It Burn." All right. Anyway, cancel me.
I'm good. How you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm doing magnificent right now. Actually, not. I feel a little horrible. I was sick. Speaking of reunion was a great time. Had a wonderful time. Made some new friends. Well, old friends as new friends. Building and connecting and seeing what everyone else is doing 10 years after we graduated. No one is the same as they were that graduation day.
Oh, 100%.
It seems like everyone's done a lot of growing, a lot of learning. People have families now. People are married. People are doing successful in their business ventures and their jobs, and they have a lot of new insight and new life experiences that they're bringing to the table. So it's really cool to connect with people I didn't really know. Like I know I came into the whole reunion like, hey, I'm just going to talk to people I know. I'm not going to try to build or talk to new people. But it was really cool, like catching up with like Louisa and Liz, name dropping already. Louisa and Liz, and like seeing what they had going on in life because I hadn't spoken to them literally since prior to graduation, and seeing that they've grown a lot. And they're two energetic Latino and they have a lot of moxie, a lot of poise to them, and it was really cool to connect with them. We'll talk about that more in a later episode. But yeah, it was good. But one of the negatives of me being that socialite that I am is I ended up getting sick.
Oh God.
Yeah, bro. Monday was rough. It's like you went for a 5 mile run. That wasn't even an option for me. Like I logged into work at like 6:30. I looked at the clock. My throat was still sore from that drive. When we were driving, I said I had a sore throat.
Yeah,
my throat was still sore, and I was like, I'm not working. I texted my manager. I was like, bro, I literally can't. I'll just take the time off. Like, I'll deal with any type of repercussions later. Like, I literally can't work. So I took the day off. I literally slept the entire day.
Really? Damn, was that bad?
It was that bad.
Yikes.
Like, I had a fever. I had chills. I had body aches. Like, my body was in shock because I don't drink that much. I think it was like the consistent drinking from...
I don't know. Thursday night, not Thursday.
Thursday night wasn't that bad because I only had like 2 drinks.
Yeah, and I had 3, and I was getting shamed. Hey,
Well, shame on me because we got to run in the morning. I was like, bro, you better wake up for this run. I thought you were going to stay up late and drink with everybody else.
Nah, bro. I felt, bro, after we brought the damn mattresses downstairs, mind you, why would they put us in a closet? All right, all right. I ain't gonna go into the detail, but yeah, I was gonna hold on to my word, bro. I'm telling you, I'm sticking to my
You got
word,
up,
man.
bro. You were like, I came downstairs. I was like, I know I'm going to have to come wake Jermaine up. My man sitting on the chair, just ready to go. Like, he's like, "Oh, we running or not?" Like, I didn't think you was going to wake up. I was like, bro, I'm up. I've been up since 5 a.m.
Hey, your boy was out there with a book in hand, legs crossed, waiting for this dude. I was like, oh, you awake?
I was like, he got his inquisitive handle. Like, my man was ready. He was ready to go. But no, like he got up, he did our run. We worked out every day. We did we didn't record like we thought we were going to. Good thing we recorded before we left.
Exactly. Y'all got something for it.
Yeah, but I came back. Like I said, I was sick. Monday I took off work. Yesterday and today I did some. I'm in training, so I was like, let me at least power up for the training, and then power down after training. But I'm feeling a lot better. I'm on the mend right now. And I'm just really excited to be here for the podcast. And like I always say, life's good, wife's good. And let's get into this episode a little bit.
Whoa, sir.
Oh.
We ain't going into the episode yet.
Oh, my fault.
We gotta talk about what we drinking. You already got the you already had the lima lead. God damn.
Bro, you had it.
I almost had it.
Bro.
I stumbled. You know what I'm saying? We fall down, we get back up. Shout out to Kurt. I had the lima. We had the lima. We showed you that. You know, shout out to Mr. Wiley. But today we're drinking. You know what? What are we drinking, bro?
I got you, bro. We are drinking Slime Balls. You couldn't say it with a straight face.
All right, first of all.
God. I'm already opening it.
Already.
We're drinking Slime Balls.
He didn't even do it in the mic.
I know. I'm fucking up. I was trying to get that ASMR, but I got that M-I-N-E.
M-I-N-E.
So, we got the Slime Balls. It's from Commonwealth. Oh, I'm not even in the camera. I'm fucked. Anyway, Slime Balls. It's Commonwealth Brewing. It's a double Indian pale ale. It's a Nelson Sauvin words I can't pronounce right now because I'm drunk.
Circa.
Yeah, Circa, 2-row malt, oats, and wheat. Commonwealth Brewing. We went to this brewery. And we actually had glasses from this brewery. It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's actually a good brewery. Yeah.
We were headed to Virginia Beach on a trip, right? Was it Virginia Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped here. Great spot, great beer.
God, Virginia Beach.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be even better. So let's get this ASMR. You ready?
Brosk.
Oh
my God, in my eye.
Yeah, you got too close. You got too close, man. You're too close, man. You're too close.
Jesus, right in my eye. Oh God. You know what? Even though I'm like half blinded, that's actually really good.
That's a fantastic beer.
Oh yeah, no, it gives me like summer vibes, bro.
Yeah, Slime Balls. It's not as heavy as I thought it was going to be for a double IPA.
Yeah.
Like it's actually really good. But I can taste the alcohol content in it, and I know it's going to put me on my ass. This is going to be a rough episode, so just bear with us. Better than the Charleston episode. I keep on leaving this disclaimer. That one might not stay.
If y'all haven't heard the Charleston episode and you're like interested, probably now's the time to listen to it because it might get axed. Right.
We're going to do a Patreon. But I just always like to put that disclaimer out because that was before we had video, and I'm just letting y'all know right now, it wasn't the best episode.
No.
Anyway, like I said, really good beer. If I had to rate it right now, I would give it, after the first taste, I would give it a 9.43.
I hate you with the... Why are you know what?
I'm going to the 100th decimal.
Oh, no, this is definitely happening. All right. So, if you give it a 9.43, first of all, after the second sip, I already know I'm gonna die. But taste and how crisp it is and everything like that. Other than the fact that you can taste the alcohol, this is a great beach drink. 100% great beach drink. Just a sip on. You said 9 point what? 9 point what?
4.3.
4.3. I'm gonna get it a 9.58723.
All right.
All right, no,
but crazy.
But for real, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it like I'll give it a 9.1. Like it's a very solid drink. Highly recommend. Like if y'all are beer drinkers, getting ready for the summer. I know everybody like lifting, doing their goals, everything like that. I understand that. Treat yourself.
Get yourself some slime balls.
I mean, that sounds so horrible.
Get yourself some slime balls. Come on through it.
Put some slime balls in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, just swallow. Just swallow the slime balls. All the way down. It might feel like boogers when it goes down, but hey, just get you some slime balls.
And as you see that, we're very toxic right now. So what we talk about today and what we're doing today. Last week was our example of what positive. Well, we're doing a masculinity series. We're doing a two-parter. Last week was positive. Today, talking about toxic. Yes. What are we going to be doing for our toxic masculinity episode?
I am glad you asked. So I kind of surprised you, man, a little bit with this idea. We knew we were going to talk about toxic masculinity, but like I feel like if we're going to talk about toxic masculinity, we got to go full sin. We got to go for that shit, right? So I was like, we're going to drink beer. We're going to drink whiskey. But then I was like, I am not going out to get whiskey because Canada ruined that trip for me. So instead, I was like, we're going to eat hot wings while we do this episode talking about toxic masculinity, because real men to be able to handle their spice. And the first wing that we're going to actually eat today, we coated in Melinda's ghost pepper sauce. So this is the sauce. It's from Melinda's. We've had this before, so this won't be too much of a surprise for either of us. We have 3 total wings because we're not going to take up all your time. But Melinda's ghost pepper sauce. We have wings coated from Wingstop. Shout out to Wingstop, but like also not shout out because you're not paying us. And your wings are kind of average. They're mid, to be honest. But
all right,
anyway, we're eating this ghost pepper sauce. We're gonna go for the first wing. It's the first one on your left. My wife is also partaking. I don't know if you can see her. There she is.
There she is.
All right, we in here.
All right.
So wing number 1.
Wing number 1.
We got it here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See it? Cheers. All right, here we go.
I'm a man.
More? Oh, God. Is that what we're preparing for right now? All right.
It's nothing.
Still not as bad.
There's nothing.
Still not as bad as the chip. So, on that note, as we starting out spicy, right? We're going to talk about toxic masculinity and what we think it is. So, my thoughts on toxic. Last week we talked. This man's sweating. He popped a Molly.
I can't.
So
this is the first.
Bro, I know. I'm already hurt. So last week we talked about positive masculinity. We used Ted Lasso as an example of what positive masculinity is. So with this week, we're gonna talk about like this era of like toxic masculinity and what is toxic masculinity? To me, toxic masculinity, so you have like the Andrew Tates of the world, the incels and stuff like that. Toxic masculinity to me is like guys that go back and refer to what used to be like the standard of what masculinity is. You got your like basically 1920s era white male.
True.
White male. I mean, it bled into like other cultures and stuff. Like other cultures have their own. But in America specific, like toxic masculinity is like, yo, like I should be like making more money than my wife. I need to be like, oh god.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, shit.
There you go. You had me in the first half. You had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
This is like a Hot Ones episode mixed with a podcast. But yeah, like it's this embodiment of what a pure man is. It's someone that provides, someone that in a way that's like controlling. You know, like we have a lot of people like now in like the social space that like watches Andrew Tate, for example, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Tate tells all the guys, like all like impressionable young men, especially men now, because in our environment, like it's very like if you want to date, and since I'm in the dating game, if you want to date, you gotta go on like online dating, and then they have I don't know if you heard this because this is an incel term, but the Chads and the Stacys and
no, what does that mean?
And the Beta and the Sigma.
I know about the betas.
Beta.
You don't want to be. You never want to be beta.
Never
like,
want
you
to
got to
be
be alpha all the time. Like,
right.
if I can quote Andrew Tate,
Go ahead.
beta is another word for bitch. That's how I understand beta.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you're not out here, you're not like paying for your dinner, paying for the girl. If you're not out here taking care of your shit, making sure you're staying in shape, making sure you're making good money, make sure you have a nice car. If you're like doing beta shit, like I don't know, being the punching bag of the group, or being like, yo,
I feel like you looked at me.
I'm looking at you because I can't look at my wife. She gonna punch me. Like I'm scared of her because I'm in beta. but really, it's just like just being that alpha, being the leader, making sure you have plans. Don't be like, oh, what do you want to do? Like you need to come ready at all times.
Come
you
correct.
Have a plan. Come correct. Be assertive. If you're not any of those things, if you're lacking any of those, you have beta energy. And from what I understand from the dating world today, beta energy is unattractive.
It gives them the ick.
It gives them the ick. Just like cutting your shirt sleeves off and wearing it on the podcast.
Cutting your shirt sleeves off or chasing after beer pong balls.
Oh, bro, and then carrying water to some girl who's dying.
All right. But no, you're right. Like toxic man, because like some of those things I feel like aren't in a good place. Like you don't want to be like what's the word? I mean, yeah, you want to be a provider. You want to be, or basically, you don't want to be super lazy. You don't want to be like someone that's dependent on other people, and that's with both sexes, right? So it's taking that they're like, oh, you need to work out. You need to be assertive. You need to be whatever. You need to be confident. When it comes from like those points of views, true, you should be confident. You need to be like accept yourself and love yourself and who you are. You also need to be able to sustain yourself. You shouldn't always have to ask for people for help. You know, you gotta be able to stand on your own 2 feet. But it's like to the extreme, right? It's like if someone like if you're like always looking for if you're like all right, for example, like you grinded yourself out of debt by staying at your parents' house, right?
Weak. Beta.
To Andrew Taylor, though, it's beta, right?
Right.
They're like, you ain't an alpha, you with us, you beta, you an incel, bro. Like, you don't got money, you don't got nepotism, like, you just like us. Meanwhile, you think it's in a financial, like, a good position where you're like, I'm going to use this opportunity to get out of debt.
Well, I do think that we do tend to let society make our decisions for us, right? Because I know that me leaving my parents' house, yes, I had paid off my student loans living there, but like I was literally eating syrup sandwiches the whole time. It was like peanut butter and jelly for lunch every day.
I remember that.
Paid off. Like I would have peanut butter and jelly in the fridge, my work fridge, and eat it every day because I didn't want to spend money because all my money was going to my loans. And once my loans were paid off, I was like, I'm out. Like it was like the very next weekend, I'm gone. Like I'm moving out, I'm moving far away from here. Far away, it's Tyson, but like far away from here and start my own life. And a lot of that was dictated because I felt like if you're not a man if you can't live on your own. Like having a roommate is weak. And realistically, it's just the dumbest thing you can do is live on your own. Especially when you're not making that much money. I mean, back then I was making $37,000, right?
Yeah.
Pain. I was just like, yo, it don't matter because I'm living on my own. Yeah, I don't have money to do anything, but at least I got my own place. And I thought that was like the most powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
Realistically, like I see friends traveling, I see friends going out and doing stuff. And I was just like, yo, y'all trying to come here? Like, no.
Right.
Like, you got alcohol? No, I can't afford it. Like, oh, okay. How's that apartment? Oh, it's great. But, like, no one's here, no one's doing stuff. But, like, it was just that I thought that women wanted a guy who had his own place. And I think that there is some merit in that. I think that is true. Like, if you have your own spot, I think that looks good to the female. But I wasn't really doing that for myself.
Right.
I was doing that to impress women or, you know, do whatever I can to make myself look more appealing to women. And it wasn't just about me and my long-term thinking. It was just here and now, I need my own place. I tried to roommate with you, and you tried to touch on that a little earlier.
Right.
But you were like, oh, no, let's look around. And I was like, bro, this is the perfect place.
Meanwhile, I was like, hey, yo, let's go to South BBC. That shit crazy. It's $500 a month. It's like,
bro, growing up here, I just knew. I was like, bro, that ain't the move.
Bro, I just looked at the finance, but no, I agree with you. Where it was like you looked at it like a certain like if you made this much money, if I did this, then I am a man.
But also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you're good.
But also on top of that, when I think of like the toxic masculinity in man, like a man needs to have a car and he needs to know how to fix the car, he needs to know how to plumb, he needs to know how to build a house, he needs to do everything, every blue collar job. That's what I would think of as like toxic masculinity. Well, maybe not toxic masculinity, just like over masculinity.
Over masculinity.
It's just like you have to be able to be a provider in every single way. If you call somebody to fix something for you, beta.
Yep. No,
Is that correct?
it is correct. It's like you gotta cook your own. You gotta bring your own food home. Hunters or fishers. That's why you see it on Tinder. Like
Everyone holding the fish.
everybody holding the fish because to them they're just like it's that old school like idea. Not even that old school idea. It's this new school idea of like embracing the fact what we did as hunters. It's like going back to being an animal. Like our like animal sense without communication, without civilization, whatever. I was watching I was watching the Apple TV like documentary on dinosaurs where a bird showed like this other bird, the lady bird, like, hey yo, I got this fish. You should mate with me, right? And that's like what they're telling like the talking about like, yo, you gotta show these women that you know how to hunt. Show your gun, show your like your fishing abilities and stuff like that. Because this should be attractive to them. Meanwhile, all these women I've talked to that've been in the dating game, they're just like, that gives me the ick.
Really?
They say it gives me the ick because to them it's like it's overly, right? And that's the difference with it's the difference of toxic masculinity in the incel community. I feel like they're both toxic, but one is going to the extreme, like, hey, yo, I gotta lift heavy. Like, I had like women like when I was dating were like, yo, I hated your gym pick because to me it seemed like you were so obsessed with like working out and stuff like that. You won't have room for me. It's an assumption, but there are some guys that are like, hey, yo, I gotta get swole. Hey, yo, I do like X, Y, Z. Like, I can be the dude ass, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm your protector versus someone that's just comfortable in himself and know that it can protect someone. It's a difference. One, it seemed like as alpha. These are what the incels want. And normally the incels go to become an alpha with that mindset. I need to they're still stuck in the incel mindset.
Right.
I'm lonely. I got nobody. If I become like this swole dude that could kick somebody's ass, then I made it. Then I'll get all the women.
But before I get to the next point, let's get to the next swing.
Yeah, let's get
Let's
into
get to
that.
the next swing. So the next swing,
Oh God.
went to El Paso. Let me shake this bad boy up. Went to El Paso, Texas for a work trip, and I got this hot sauce in the airport. Not sure how strong it is, so we're gonna try. It's called the Juice. The Juice. ATX.
Like the ultimate toxic masculinity dude, OJ the Juice Man.
I don't know, but it's gluten free and vegan friendly. I don't know what that means. It's all those things. It's a yellow sauce. I'm really curious how this is going to taste. I have a feeling that the ghost pepper one was probably hotter than this, but we're going to find out right here.
Yeah, I think it was because we didn't have a lot of water. So we'll see.
We have no water.
Zero water. Our liquid of choice is alcohol. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Bro, this should have been the baseline.
You about to find out. You about to be like Idris Elba in a second, bro.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Nah, man. I'm not going out for a second. This is good.
Yeah, that's actually really good, actually. I think up front, it's very. This is definitely like hot ones, 100%. I'm going back again. Like
It's good.
Up front, spicy.
Back is fine.
Oh yeah. Opposite of what I want my whiskey to be like.
But like, if I were to cough, I'd be a beta right now. Something about toxic masculinity. So I think that a lot of the traits that we talked about are just masculine. But like toxic masculinity, when you get to the point where I think you're undermining your peers and women as well.
Yeah.
I think toxic masculinity is like, hey, I'm a provider. You need to stay home and watch the kids. You need to mansplain everything. Women don't need to watch because, bro, misogyny.
misogyny. Yeah.
Misogyny. Women don't need a watch because it's a clock on the stove.
Oh God, God,
And that type of mindset.
so bad.
I feel like that's like the whole toxic masculinity thing. Is like, oh no, you don't need that, and like the man making all the decisions in a relationship. I know, like me being married right now. Oh, here it comes, it's coming.
Yeah, it's right there in the
Oh
throat.
man, talking made it worse.
Oh yeah, no.
Now I know where you came from earlier.
When you get the air and it starts like tickling your throat.
But
oh yeah, got you.
Oh man, no.
Gotcha.
Like being married and knowing that you can't make the decisions for the family, it's like it's a collective thing that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Like you're not the sole provider, sole decision maker. Like you have to communicate.
Right.
Can you speak to a situation where you felt like you needed to be toxic in order? Well, maybe you didn't think you were being toxic, but you were being toxic in a decision in a relationship that you've been in the past.
Well, like because of my my upbringing, I was in a upbringing where my father wasn't the breadwinner. My mom was the breadwinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was this constant like struggle between power. Like anytime since he wasn't making as much money, he had to overpower them. So it made me feel like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be that person. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna work with my partner, right? And at one point where, thank you. At one point where, in one of my relationships where they wanted me to like argue, right? They were like, hey, you just like roll over, you know, like have an argument or whatever. All I knew was like back then, like what my dad did, right?
Right.
So I argued, yelled over her, like, put it like quote unquote, put her in her place, right? Whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like just said like things that I needed, but in a very aggressive manner because what I thought masculinity was, which to me, I thought strength was aggression. I saw aggression like being overly angry, being pushy, being domineering, and like shutting my partner down. That's what the masculine trait is. Me like being kind and thoughtful and strong, like quote unquote strong, in my emotions. I thought I was weak. I thought I was like beta energy. I was like, oh, I need to dominate this person. I need to and I did, and it ended up horribly. Like actually, like that was like one of the linchpins of the relationship failing because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I thought like because she said you need to be a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like even with toxic masculinity, from us talking about as men being toxic masculinity, women that are dating men sometimes have that view of what a man should be like, and it's also built on what they were taught as a kid,
Right. Or what they grew up with.
right? Oh, they gotta make X many figures. Oh, they need to like make all the decisions. Oh, they need to be able to take care of me. Oh, they can't cry. Oh, they can't be vulnerable. Oh, they can't they have to be like always strong and like be my shoulder to lean on. They can't lean on me for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what like carried me. But when women talk about those things, what is the sixes, right?
Oh yeah, bro. You gotta be 6 feet 6 inches and make 6 figures.
Exactly.
Bro, I can't be perfect.
Ain't that what I mean? Look, bro, if they ain't toxic, I don't know what it is.
Like my hair, I'm 6 feet.
That's right. That's right. But I feel like that's a social.
I still got 6 inches though. That's crazy.
That's a social like construct that people made because of like certain like traits that they saw and that may have been toxic. I know men, grown men, like our fathers, that like that haven't experienced what their view of being a man is to be strong, hard, not breaking, whatever. I had a moment with my dad, and I think this was like a couple of years ago.
This is before or after the cigarettes?
This is before. Oh, he came back eventually. He came back with the cigarettes. I was like, "Hey, yo, bro, those cigarettes must have been crazy. It was been like 6 years." But no, it was after college, and he was very vulnerable with me, and he said, "I'm sorry." He told me, "I'm sorry for crying," and I was like, bro, you don't gotta be sorry for crying. You're being vulnerable, and this is the most like the strongest I've seen you. To him, because what his dad, I saw a child. Not saying my dad's a child, right?
Right.
But I saw his child like
You saw his
reaching
inner
out.
child.
Right, I was like a child, like being vulnerable. Finally being vulnerable. I saw him as a child, and I was like, bro, you don't gotta apologize to me. Like we all mess up, we all fall, but the toxic we
Kirk Franklin.
we fall down. Yeah, like Kirk Franklin, right? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like that. That's what I had this like realization of like what a man is just someone that um can be vulnerable, but toxic men you can't be vulnerable. You can't show that you're soft because you'll be eaten alive. You know,
Bro, I echo everything you just said there. Speaking about my father and my upbringing, I've seen my mom and my dad fight all the time to the point where I just thought it was normal. I used to see my dad yell at my mom and my mom yell back, vice versa, and it would just be like a whole thing where I felt like if I'm not arguing with my partner, we're not in love. We're not loving each other.
oh yeah, 100%.
It's so toxic, right? It's like not even just toxic masculinity; it's just toxic love. It's toxic everything. Because when you're brought up in an environment like that, you get so used to it, and you just think you're comfortable with it. So my past relationships, it would just be always fighting, always that, and then like it was just the makeup, so I could be crazy. I'd be like, yeah, this is normal. It is what it is. My room was right next to my parents, so you know, just take whatever you want from that conversation.
Yeah.
But no, one of the more toxic moments that I remember with my upbringing was when my dad actually hit my mom, and like I saw this happen, and then like immediately like I grabbed the phone and I was like 911 calling. I'm like, hey, like this is happening. My dad hit me for calling 911, and it was a very abusive, aggressive moment. But like I think all this happened and him going to his dark past and his decision he made with like drugs and all this is because he didn't know how to express himself. He didn't know how to just like be vulnerable and say like, "Hey, life is hard. Hey, like I thought I had all the answers and I don't." And black men we don't do therapy.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, like we don't do that. Like, we don't need therapy.
Right.
So
No, I mean,
growing up with that is kind of like, oh, okay, so if I reach out for help for anything in general, I'm weak, I'm beta. Then that kind of followed me through college. Like, I didn't want to go to my professor and say the office hours. Because I was like, bro, I ain't no bitch. Like, I don't need no help. Like, but you just teaching it wrong. Like, I was never the issue.
mm-hmm.
It was always someone else. I always put the blame on someone else because I got this all the way up until I got into college. I don't understand why this is different. So you're just not teaching me right. You ain't doing what you need to do, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And, I think that's just one of those toxic mentalities that we had to let go of. In order for me to have a healthy relationship with my wife, I had to let go of that yelling is like a healthy way to communicate. And I don't know, she might not agree, but actually, no, I'll be honest. I think she thinks that I yell, but I don't yell.
Oh yeah, bro. We know. We know. Because it's the same thing with my dad. Like the yelling part, and I know your father was like he was the breadwinner and stuff. My dad wasn't the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, yelling and dominating my mom was his thing of control. I think toxic masculinity, or like masculinity to extreme, Zoomer masculinity, whatever you want to call it, Andrew Tate. I don't care what you call it. It's the sense of control. That's all it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
When you start losing control, that's when you get angry. When you feel like you're out of control, that's when you get angry. And it's out of control to the things that are external. We talk a lot in our podcast about how control and like our in your like gaining your strength and your respect for yourself comes from within. When you're getting upset, angry, pissed because you're running out of control, you haven't done the inner work. I find when we talk about it, the inner work is what actually makes a true man. That the toxic part is like being able to control the things that you can control to make your life easy externally, even though you're still struggling on the inside. Cause you don't want to look on the inside because, like you said, black men don't go to therapy.
We don't go to therapy. No, we do.
What?
We eat hot wings.
We eat hot wings.
We're moving on to the last wing of the night. Before we exit this episode, we have the bomb beyond insanity. If you guys have ever watched Hot Ones with Sean Evans, he always has this from season 1 all the way to season now. He's always had the bomb on there. I got this when I was in Charleston. Shout out to Charleston, great city. Would love to come back. Also, shout out to random people I met out there.
Right. Then that's crazy.
So we on our last swing. I'm not gonna lie. You know what? In honor of Hot Ones, since we kind of got this idea for Hot Ones, I'm
Okay.
gonna do a last stab.
All right.
I don't know how I'm going to do this.
You go ahead and do it. Because I don't need you to pass me.
Oh my god, it's so much. That came out so fucking fast.
And then, that's what she said.
That's what she said. Anyway, anybody else last dabbing?
Sure.
This is the one on the episodes where everyone's just like in so much pain. And honestly, I'm really doing this because I lost the bet to our resident host.
Our resident host.
Our resident.
We're still looking for the punch card.
Yeah, no punch card came at reunion, but again, we'll get that. We'll save it for the pod.
We'll save it for the pod.
We'll get it in the pod.
We'll get it in the post too. All right.
Whew. I'm so scared.
Salud.
Listen. I am terrified. I can't.
We got it,
bro.
Let's take a bite out of it, bro. You got it.
How big is your dab?
It's a normal ass like drip.
Yeah, you had a real dab.
Exactly.
I had a pour.
You don't have to eat the whole thing. You don't have to eat the whole thing.
Oh my god.
That's toxic.
I'm not eating the whole.
All right. Salud.
Sorry, guys.
Brosk.
I ain't no bitch. It's toxic.
First of all, Sean Evans.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Oh, fuck. This is good.
That was not good.
Sean Evans can go. So my man can go out. I'm sorry, I'm chewing. Sean Evans can go out and just do this on purpose. No one like having to look at them. But as we talk about toxic masculinity and stuff like that, we learned so much during this time, during our our masculinity episode. Oh God, our masculinity episode. No, you're good. Our masculinity episode, and like we appreciate you guys staying for it. We will, if you guys like it, let us know. You can find us on Instagram, Unsolicited Counseling Podcast on Instagram. You also can find us on Facebook at the same name.
Cheers.
You also can find us on Unsolicited Counseling Podcast on YouTube, whole work. And,
like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh my God.
It's hitting me now. So, as always, guys, we love you guys. We're here for you guys. One drink at a time.
One episode at a time.
Be easy, y'all.
Fuck this.